So today I'm going to show you by drawing two shapes and changing them into form. Uh, these are simple flat plane shapes. As you know, shapes are 2D. They have two dimensions, length and width. But if we say the 3D shapes, then I'll explain you what usually which shapes or forms are called 3D shapes. Usually we add values to make the shapes turn into forms. Now these are two flat shapes. I will simply add lines and you will see how simple lines, simple values can create that illusion of volume, illusion of this weight, that as if the objects are 3D. I put some pressure a little bit on the left side and less pressure on the right. Now in this circle I am simply adding curved lines following the contour line from left to right. You will see, you already get the sense and understanding of the shape turned into form and the volume of the sphere. It was a circle that was turned into a sphere. So now I'll be starting with 3D shape or form. Shapes are actually 2D, but these kind of, like for example from triangle we make pyramid, so sometimes you will hear that this is a 3D shape, the pyramid, or it's a form. So this illusion of form that we are creating, if we add further lights and darks, you will see how the form is achieved, even if you don't fill it up, but this value plays important role. Now in a cube, a square transformed into cube, remember again, by adding simple lines I'm creating volume. So the medium, dark and light tone is adding to the volume. It already has 3 dimensions, but by adding lights and darks we added volume, so it is creating the illusion of 3D. Now I'll be doing this cylinder again. Cylinder is a form, so by adding values again you will feel the roundness that we see in the cylinders. So you will feel that it has weight, it has volume. Now I want you to notice one thing. I have done the light coming from the right side, and of course the opposite side will be dark, but I'm doing the shadow towards the side which has light. Now I'm going to do a sphere. Now I want you to tell me that was the light supposed to be the shadow was supposed to be falling on the right side. So now I'm doing the sphere. I am thinking of the light as if it's falling from the top left hand side, and then on the opposite side is of course the darker area. Now think of it as a ball, and then how all around the ball there will be different values. Then there will be the area for the highlight. Now one half will be towards mid-tones and lighter tones, the light falling from top, then the shadow falling in the opposite direction, the cast shadow, I mean the shadow which the object itself is creating. So light falling from left side and shadow on the right side. Now the highlight is the area where the light directly hits, then the mid-tones, then you have to do the mid-tones, lighter tones around the highlight. Then you have to see that if this is divided into half, like if you cut the ball into half, or it's like the planet Earth or any of the planets, you cut them into half. How do you see it? If the light is falling from one side, the other opposite side under the ball will be all dark. Now in this case we have to remember that there is always reflection of the light that bounces back after hitting the surface on which the object is placed. Now this ball is on a table. Let's imagine the light is falling on the ball, and then it's also falling on the table, and then it hits back on the sphere. When the light hits back on the sphere, since the table is white, so there will be a highlight, reflected highlight on the sphere as well, on the darker side of the sphere. So this is also very important. Then there is core shadow. This is the darker tone that comes on the sides of somewhere in between the lighter values and the darker values. Now I'm drawing this semicircle and making it a form by shading the same way like this lower part of the sphere is done here. So if you see this semi half circle, this area will be dark here, down here. Above is going to be lighter, but this will be darker. So this core shadow, then reflected light, cast shadow, these are the things you have to remember. The highlight you have to remember, the midtones, these are all together going to create or make illusion of 3D. It will create illusion of form. Now if you see above, these are all looking like forms because they have 3 dimensions. They all have length, width and depth. So 2D shapes are 2D, and then the shapes that usually you will hear calling 3D are the ones that are these, and this is the realistic one. This is a form. See, they have volume. Now see this one, when you are doing the sphere, you do the shading all around. The cylinder has light on the right side and shadow on the right side, whereas the sphere has light on the left side and shadow on the right side. Tell me which one is correct, which one is not, and the one that is not correct, why?